Are you thinking of going on PrEP? Well, if you got a second, I'll give you some information about it. On today's episode, we're talking about PrEP. Welcome to Sex Talk with JoJo Bear. I'm JoJo Bear, and I'm a somatic sex and intimacy coach. And welcome to the show. So, are you HIV negative man and are thinking of taking the leap in taking PrEP? Well, don't fret. I'm here to give you some information. Over 3 years ago, my doctor told me that if every gay man who is HIV negative and who is sexually active got on PrEP, the spread of HIV would diminish in the community. Now that really made me think about getting on Truvada. Now I hadn't really been engaging in a lot of high-risk behavior like having unprotected anal sex. Well, at least not bottoming, but I was having sex. I waited about 6 months after my doctor's little talk with me, and then I decided to get on PrEP myself. Pre-exposure prophylaxis, or PrEP, is a combination of two drugs, emtricitabine and tenofovir, sold under the name Truvada. It is a drug that is approved for daily use as PrEP to help prevent an HIV-negative person from getting HIV from a sexual or injected drug-using partner who's HIV positive. Well, how does it work? You just take one pill a day. It's estimated that it takes at least 7 days for PrEP to reach high levels of protection in the body. When used correctly, Truvada for PrEP provides 92% to 99% reduction in HIV risk for HIV-negative individuals who take the pills every day as directed. Now people ask, how much does it cost? Well, Truvada is a prescription drug and is covered by most insurance plans. So go see your doctor to obtain a prescription. There's also a medication assistance program from the company Gilead, is the manufacturer of the drug. One important thing to remember, although PrEP is 90% effective for lowering the risk of catching HIV if you take it daily, it doesn't protect you from the transmission of other STIs. So after being on PrEP for almost about 2 years, I personally felt more comfortable around sex, especially if it involved anal sex. For years, there was always this nagging voice in the back of my head worrying constantly about what I did, instead of just savoring the act. Nowadays, I feel like I've had this liberated consciousness. The way I look at it is that most men, at least in my part of the world, are on PrEP, and most men that are HIV positive are undetectable and on medications themselves. The other thing about being on PrEP that has been invaluable for me is that I have to get my blood work done every 3 months. So I am very well aware of my health because I visit my doctor with more frequency. And the reality of my sex life is like this. I'm prepared when it comes to that spontaneous sexual encounter with a man. I always recommend discussing your sexual history because even though a man says he's HIV negative and on PrEP himself, it's important to find out about other STIs. Now, sex is fun, and with PrEP, it can be less stressful, even if there is no condom involved. So during my sessions with men, I'm always very open about my experience with PrEP. There's still plenty of men who come see me who are still very confused and fearful of the drug, the side effects, the effectiveness, the stigma, and they won't go on it, but they're still having unprotected sex. Now, I tell them what my doctor said about PrEP in the gay community because I find it is so important to educate men about how they can still have a wild and seductive sex life, but also protect their health at the same time. Now, PrEP isn't for everyone, so don't go out around taking your friend's medication or throwing them in your mouth at some sex party you're attending. This is a powerful medication that must be prescribed by a doctor. And it's suggested that you get regular blood work and doctor's visits to make sure the medication is not messing with your body in other ways. So, are you considering getting on PrEP? Did you hear anything that may have made you think if you're HIV negative? Maybe the same thing I've experienced when my doctor told me about could happen to the community if I got on PrEP? Yeah, it's a lot of stuff to think about. And I want to hear from you. So check out my website at www.metamorphicembodiment.com. Send me a message. Let me know your experience about PrEP, whether it's negative or positive. I want to hear from you. So this is JoJo Bear, and thank you for watching another episode of Sex Talk with JoJo Bear. Please subscribe to my videos, tell a friend, and press like. Thanks. Ciao for now.